Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning.
So, I'm Danny Fielder with Gulf States Engineering. Jonathan Cates from Gulf States Engineering. And the tall guy coming around again, he's one of our salesmen. That's Matt Young. I couldn't help that. So what we're going to do is go through how to make a few checks on the pumps. After we get done draining the fluid, we'll go down to the pump itself. But what we're first going to do is make and check resistance on the pumps, okay? That way you can get an idea if you're actually having, say you're tripping a breaker inside and you're having issues inside. Is because something's jammed in the pump, you have a burn-up motor. What exactly is the problem? So come out here, turn off your disconnect, and before you pull the pump out of the volute, we'll go over that. You can drain the volute like I was doing down there, because you're going to have to open it up to see if anything's jammed in the impeller. We got the disconnect off, and what we're going to do y'all have a measure here?
Yes.
Y'all do have a measure?
Yes.
Okay. I'm teaching a class, I got to give them the reject button. Ain't that neat? So make sure you always check when you disconnect your power leads. We don't have to disconnect them. You can't mag through when you connect it directly to a VFD, but our power cable is coming directly into the bottom of the disconnect. So once we've opened it up, we've isolated it from the control room. So what we're going to do is actually leave, and if you have to disconnect the wires, always make sure you mark where the brown, gray, and black are at, so you'll have proper rotation when you go back in. So what we're going to do for maintenance, hook up to our ground. And what I always like to do is make sure we got a good ground. And we're showing that we're grounded by checking the ground and going to the cap. And we check each one of the leads. We got a good make reading on that. Center leg's good. And our third leg is good. This meter goes up to 2200 megohms. Once you see it start climbing, we know it's going to infinity. If you drop somewhere around 200 or 300 ohms, you've got an issue somewhere, whether it's in the conduit, in the pump stator. But when I saw it start climbing, I knew that we had a good measure. Now we're going to check resistance. I got my meter zeroed out. So if you can get on actually the copper that's sticking up above, you'll get a little bit better resistance. We got 0.23 ohms. 0.22 ohms. 0.23 ohms. So you get your three readings, and they should be very close to symmetrical. So 0.23, 0.22, 0.23, that's all a good reading. We had a good mega reading. So we know that our stator should be good, but it's tripping a breaker. So at that point, we realized that we could have something jammed in the pump. Now we can go down below. But before we go, does anybody have any questions on what we just did? All right. Are y'all afraid? It's just poo-poo. Come on down. So you get good hands on. I'm not gonna make you put your hands in that right now. Just say no. Come on down, don't be bad. So there's two ways that you find something wrong with the pump, something's damaged. This is a telescopic connection right here. So what you can do is loosen up all these nuts. You just have to loosen back up on that side, and then take these nuts on the other side all the way out. hose couple of piece back off, you'll find you got some jams in your hose. But if the pump's got a good bit of wear on it, you can stick feeler gauges on the side and see what the clearance is between the hose and insert rings. These have insert rings that go on the bottom of the loop, and once we pull the pump out of the loop, we'll be able to see that better. But you need it in now, so we can check the clearance to see if we've got good tight clearance. Once we see that's good, we'll push the contractor piece back in to the bottom of the loop, and then we'll go over here, we'll do the 4 bolts on the loop, and slide the pump back out for the service part. Anybody got any questions so far? Okay.
This one I'm off.
Now, for me to take a look and see what the problem is, I'll show you how to check the clearance. So you see where the impeller meets the insert ring? We're going to take feeler gauges and see what kind of clearance we got where it rides into there. So we can see if we got a good tight tolerance right there. The more that gap opens up is when you start losing some efficiency on the gallons per minute that you're actually pumping. These feeler gauges have a good bit of wear on them. A little rusty, so I always take a set of veneer calipers and I measure what they got. The first one I got a little too thick, won't slide up in there, which is good. Means we got a good tight gap. So right here, this feeler gauge is 10,000, or not feeler gauge, but the veneer caliper. I'm showing 10,000. The clearance should be, the max you can have is 32,000. So once you get up to that, you're going to start losing a lot of efficiency. So usually, you're going to see these in the factory anywhere from about 6 to 12,000. We're at 10 here, so we're good. You know, if you measure 13 and 14, you're still good. Start to get some wear, but just keep an eye on that. Like I said, get a set of long feeler gauges. And you can either use veneer calipers like this, or you can actually use mice or something so you can measure it with. All of these at one point had what thickness they were. So we saw that that was in the pump here, so we're good to clear here. So we're going to put the telescopic piece back in. Yes. We see that we still got a good O-ring right here. Y'all see the O-ring on the edge right here? So we'll slide it back in.
You're good.
Once you tighten these up, and you get them on there with finger tight, and you just snug them with your wrench. And kind of like tightening up the lug nuts on a car, kind of do a crisscross pattern.
The 13 millimeters. Thank you. I'll tell him it's a 13 millimeter.
All right, we snug them. Now we start tightening them up a little bit.
Yeah, tighten this one down over here.
So the ones on this side you just loosened up, right?
Yes.
They only took the nuts off this side right over here.
Take them over this side.
So it can slide through there, right?
Yep, because when you loosen this, that's what gives it the play to be able to slide
Gotcha.
back.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions at this point? Y'all good on that? Yeah. Good one. What we'll do next is loosen these two nuts up, one on each side, for the feet, to the cart system. And then we'll take the glute bolts out, and we'll slide the pump out of the glute. That way we can get a better look at the impeller, get a good look at the glute. The insert frame. Hammerers don't fit there real good sometimes.
Ready to start making it? Ready to start making it?
Yep. You'll see the pump nameplate right here on the side of the pump top. If you need model and serial number, you'll get it from manufacturer. This is the cooling jacket on the pump. These pumps have glycol. So we'll check the glycol a little bit before we plug everything in. We know that glycol is air-free, but don't use this for everything in the air-free and let it get on the part. Because what it will do, the chemical composition between the sulfur and glycol will get air-free to the hot side, it's going to react and damage the side. Flight has particularly glycol, where we do service to the pumps, we pour that in, we have to change it, and we'll have a plug straight down from there, but if you've got a drain, you have another plug right there. You want to check it? See if you have a pump that's tripping out on it, on the filter, what it could be is along with glycol. This has a cartridge simulator, so the upper seal and the lower seal is built into each other, and you can have half the seal fail, and the other half still be good. So you could be pumping, and in the middle of that cartridge seal is what they call an expeller. And the expeller, what it does is it circulates the glycol without the cooling jacket, so it's a constant circulation inside of you. So what can happen is you can have the lower half of the seal go out, and you can actually pump glycol out of the whatever seems to be low glycol. So what you can do is add more glycol to it, fill it up. Once you fill it up, run it for a little while longer. If it's going to make it heat, it's probably have a seal that's failed and has to be replaced. Sometimes you may not have a seal phase, but if you take a hard bump, coming through the clarifier, I want to think, you want to have any solids coming through here, I want to think. Correct? So you shouldn't have anything but, like at a wastewater station, you know, you get all kinds of free flow. When you pump in filling, it's pretty seal phase, it's just momentary, I mean, split of a second. And you can get a little moisture into the stator house. Doesn't mean that you have a bad seal. Just means that you need to drain it into the side. The plug that's on the bottom, and you can see there's actually two plugs on the bottom. One is right up under here, right up under the frame. That's an inspection plug. You can pull that out, nothing should come out. That's a dry cabinet for the stator housing. So you have some moisture come out, tablespoon or two, maybe three, you're okay. That's enough. Now, if you pull that plug out, you just start pouring and pouring, and you know that the seal's coming out, the pump's got to go in. And you'll notice if you've got moisture in there, when you make the pump, that bigger, it's going to pick up the moisture that's in there. Plus, you also got a liquid sensor inside this pump. The liquid sensor will give you an indication of controlling that you have liquid. So there's a few ways. You have liquid, bad measure, and it's pretty much pull the plug out. If you got water pouring out, or something that's going to be the back. Another way to check the intelligent witnesses is a little bit tighter fit, and you definitely need the longer fingertips. If you have this flange on the side. Now, in a wet well situation where you have a wet well, you would have a mixed flush valve that goes in. A mixed flush valve is what stirs up the wet well. But you can pull this flange off, you can see the impeller and everything in there. So that would be another way that you can check, but you gotta have the long finger edges for that. And sometimes these being new in the paint, they don't always just slide out, so you might have to try it a little bit. You don't want to get screwdriver. Trying to separate it a bit. It looks like it's this right there.
Nice.
So, when we take a look at the impeller, we know that we got the disconnect off of above. When you see if it turns freely, which it does. Take a good look at your vane. Make sure you got good sharp edges here. Now you'll eventually get some wear there, and you'll get a little few pains and you're fine. But you also want to check your edges that right on your insert ring inside. Make sure they're nice and they're still nice and square all the way around. You can see the insert ring is replaceable, okay? So you pull these Allen heads out. Now, when they put these new, they've got little rubber plugs. They go on the heads of these. You can just take a scribe or something and pop those plastic. They don't have to go back in, but what they help do is keep your wastewater from plugging in the head to scrape it out. Now, over a period of time, they'll probably wear out and everything, but that's what those are, little rubber plugs. But you can see you've got a relief groove right here. The purpose of that relief groove, if you got some string material or whatever that comes through the clarifier, when it gets to that relief groove, instead of it getting jammed under the impeller, it hits that relief groove and it goes ahead and pumps on out. So when you look at that, don't think you got a bad wear spot, because you got that relief groove right here. What you're looking at is the other areas past the relief groove. It's everything's good and shiny right there still. And that's what you really want to look for. You can get some grooving and some wear. Because at the end of it, y'all have much sand come through here. Okay. So you'll probably get some abrasion effect on it, which is not going to hurt anything. You just don't want a bunch of big deep down and start getting wet. You'll be able to notice that and you check the clearance from the other side as well. Make sure when you go back in that the O-ring is making sure the O-ring is still good. What you're checking is, you know, when I checked it back there earlier, what I'm doing is I'm sliding with this. Yeah, where this fits down inside there, that's when you check that. But like I said, you can actually pull this flange out and stick feel it getting down through there. But you can get more of a better area all the way around and close it up. You press.
Again, on the, you do that thing right off. said that White has its own brand of that we need to use.
Yes. And they have some Dollar Brand shop. So if y'all need to get some, y'all can get it. Anything else? Y'all good?
We did good.
All right. I got it. In the design, why do they use 2 spools on top of that pump? You don't have to talk to the contractor about that. I'm here from the great game. I don't know if it's heating purposes. I do know they have a stretch piece in the middle of it, for expansion. Oh, okay. We'll take it. Back here, got to give it a little bit harder. $30 is always good to have. And what we get in the barrels, maybe 50/50.
So when we bought it, it would already be pretty much committed.
Oh, that is great. We won't have to do anything. What we have is already committed. That's not-